Hi, dear friends. Welcome back to Akshadare. Good morning, everyone. I am your Devraj. So today is 22nd July 2023. I hope you guys are working towards to improve our communication in English. So please watch the video till the end. I will give some surprise tips and surprise opportunities for you guys. Don't miss out those opportunities and surprises. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe the channel, like and comment for more videos related to education, healthcare and personal issues, especially in the field of education, which will make you very impressive and very interested, and also which will make you very focused on learning and earning. So let's start the newspaper reading. The end, which is very important for the competitive exams and for English communication development. So let's come and have start reading the newspaper. Yes, guys. Let's see what's in the front page of the Hindu newspaper. More cases of sexual assault surface in Manipur. CBSE pushes for use of Indian languages. Now a portal to register violations. Go first to resume flight operations. PM's options in both houses spurs opposition protest. India coalition members demand a debate on Manipur issue and Delhi civil services role. Pandemic effect school notice drastic. Sometimes I don't know what will happen to this page. This is due to the software error. I have seen this kind of problems almost 3 to 4 times. It will happen almost. If it is happen, we cannot see the full page of the newspaper. Such things will happen. Okay, let's go to the next page. Drastic increase in tech dependency among young children. Ways to reduce tech usage among children. SWD encroachments. VVMP silent on action taken against erring officials. CSHC. Court expresses a displeasure over the civic body not framing a policy to prevent encroachment. BBMP issues notices to builders in Mahadevapura June. HC stays the criminal proceedings against 7 students over Skate Row. Nandini milk price may go up by 3 rupees a litre. Expressing support. Bourbon Hemo fever sweeps city as open Hemo arrives with a bang and Bobby shows up in bags. Many villages cut halfway as heavy rain lashes Kalaburgi Adgir. University puts up PhD counseling. In view of technical issues, counseling for admissions to PhD program of Bangalore University for 2023 to 24 scheduled to be held on July 26th stands cancelled. A press release said the university will announce the next date of counseling at the earliest, according to the press release. 501 foreigners were staying in state facing criminal cases. The highest number of cases of foreigners involved in criminal activities is from Bangalore, where 451 cases have been booked, according to the Home Department. Asia Pacific Regional Meet held at Christ. Judicial probe hardened into PSI's recruitment scheme scam. Police cracked two cases of assault on constables. Why five people have been arrested in a connection with these cases. State Export Excellence Award function. Property Plus, homes and real estate news, the homestay advantage, increasing disposable incomes, growing appetite for travel, and government incentives are aiding the rise of homestays in India. Designers clock in at Pottery's Born Summer House event in New Delhi. Interior designers followed a brief for instant makeovers. All steps will be taken to mitigate water problem. BJP Janata Dal vowed to put up a unified fight against Congress government. In the first joint demand, ex-Chief Minister Kumaraswamy and Basuraj Bommai demand that the government take over a nice project. Gowda expresses concern over violence in Manipur. Government plans to bring in law to regulate private sugar factories. Budget Siddaramaiah accuses Modi regime of burdening the poor with price rise. Suspension of BJP MLAs was minimum action. Kadir. Four killed in accident in Assam district. Petition in challenge IHC challenges Siddaramaiah's selection. Godavari water level recedes but flood threat persists. Official camping at Bhadrachalam in Telangana to tackle flood exigency. Many years in Andhra Pradesh have lost road connectivity. 85 villages have been asked to be ready for evacuation. Court restrains seven from making allegations against Virendra Hagade. Inflow into dams has increased and there is no shortage of drinking water. Publisher platform imbalances need fixing. Let's read this editorial page. How can our news media be safeguarded against the market power of domineering search engines, social media giants, and other so called big tech players mediating the digital economy? This is a classic public interest matter since the quality, diversity, and sustainability of publishers is of direct and immediate consequence to a user of digital news. The numerous imbalances and fractures that scar the relationship between news publishers and technology platforms are captured in two baskets of concerns. The absence of fair valuation, a matter of compensation, and the top enumerative accountability, a matter of transparency. No doubt, digital advertising revenues are jointly produced by publishers and platforms. However, publishers are hampered by a fair wide valuation of the share of such revenues generated by the journalism. Moreover, they are entirely dependent on the terms imposed by platforms operating under monopolist or duopolistic conditions. Such dependencies arise from platforms straddling multiple roles in digital news markets, especially as mediators in the search for online news content and as providers of infrastructure to publishers to participate in the online advertising market. The second imbalance stems from the lack of enumerative accountability. Platforms unilaterally define the measures of the quality and popularity of online news. They arbitrarily change measures to suit their own priorities, often after imposing them on publishers in the first place. Further, they refuse to share relevant data on advertising and viewership with stakeholders in the news economy, including with a regulator and others assessing the health of digital markets. Mitigation. In 2021, Australia tackled this by proposing a mechanism to govern the interaction between publishers and the platforms. But the platforms retaliated. Facebook blocked in its Australian users from accessing thousands of news sites, which included vital sources of public information during rampant wildfires and the COVID 19 pandemic. They only turned the news back on after winning major concessions from the Australian government that were enshrined in the final draft of the News Media and Digital Platforms Mandatory Bargaining Code 2021. Since then, other governments have initiated different mechanisms to fix the imbalance between publishers and platforms. Last month, Canada's Online News Act wanted fair compensation for publishers and the sustainability of local news. The United Kingdom plans to reintroduce legislation to regulate the relationship between big tech and news outlets. Even in the global south, where publishers in some countries are vulnerable to big tech that also provide access to the online world, things are moving. While steps are underway in Brazil and South Africa, Indonesia's proposed digital platform responsibilities for quality journalism is set to materialize through a presidential decree. The United States, which is the home of big tech, has yet to reveal its cards. In California, the then have the big tech, the Journalism Prevention Act, where platforms are obligated to pay publishers for news content, has been put on hold until 2024, despite partisan support from the state's lower house. The vocabulary of these regulations weighed and fascinating in itself reflect different motivations and priorities. Nevertheless, their overarching aim is to correct the twin imbalances, ensure news outlets are sharing their content through search engines. Social media or aggregators get a fair share of digital advertising revenues and get visibility over the data generated by platforms from selling and distributing online news. Otherwise, news publishers will be forced to continue accepting unfair and perhaps unsustainable terms from platforms. They will hesitate to invest in producing high quality journalism and ground reportage, thereby ceding space in the digital public sphere to purveyors of misinformation and disinformation. India's sluggish response. Unfortunately, India has been slow in thinking, talking, and acting on mitigating these twin imbalances. In December 2021, the Union Minister of State for Electronics and Technology denied in Parliament any desire to make big tech pay for news. He revised his position at the next year and in recent months has been increasingly talking about the disadvantages news publishers face in their dealings with platforms. In 2021, the Digital News Publishers Association had filed a plea against Google in the Competition Commission of India. The DNPA, which is an association of print and broadcast publishers, accused Google of unfairly valuing their digital advertising share, not remunerating them for the snippets used by Google in its search results, and unilaterally deciding and arbitrarily altering the mutually agreed revenue sharing model. The DNP also pointed out Google sidestepping its enumerative accountability, neither sharing granular data pertaining to advertising revenue nor disclosing the basis for calculating such revenues. The facts presented by DNP, relevant for most, are however not quite fruitful for evidence based policy making. In January 2026, the CCI rightly asked its office to investigate the matter in a report to be submitted within 60 days. In February 2022, the Indian Express Newspaper Society filed a similar plea. It also highlighted the Google search results not being based on the relevance of news content, thereby creating an uneven playing field among various publishers. It was no surprise that the CCI clubbed the investigations in both cases. The report of the Standing Committee on Finance in December 2022 on anti competitive practices by big tech companies echoed the concerns of the DNPA and the INS. It underscored that digital markets are prone to dominance by one or two players and within a very short span of time. That is, before policies can be formulated and anti competitive practices are adjudged. The Standing Committee recommended the urgency of evaluating competitive and behavior before digital markets become monopolized. This is in contrast with the current practice of the ex post or retrospective evaluation, which is both time consuming and stretches state capacity. Had the CCI report been submitted on schedule, the Standing Committee would have been better informed about the imbalances between publishers and platforms. This may have even motivated it to propose more concrete policy options, or at least be less generic in its observations. It is almost 60 weeks for the CCI report, which was to have been submitted in 60 days. The imbalance harming news publishers concomitantly harm readers, listeners, and viewers of digital news. This then becomes a matter where the interests of national news outlets clearly overlap with public interest. At this moment, both these interests are in tension, if not under stress due to the conduct of global big tech. This is about the news media. Let's go to the next. An internet ban will not restore peace in Manipur. Manipur is burning, but the rest of India did not care. The violence in the state began on May 3rd, 2023, but the nation was in deep slumber till July 19. He took a video clip of sexual violence by a mob to surface and go viral on social media that day, and 78 days for the Prime Minister of India to break his silence. During this period, an internet shutdown has continued in the northeast state. What was its priority and its role in our national apathy? Blanket had no supportive data. Data from the Telecom Industry Regulatory Authority of India showed that the people of Manipur access the internet primarily through their smartphones, and wide internet users primarily constitute institutional, commercial, and higher socio-economic groups. Out of a total pie of 0.05 million wireline and 2.36 wireless million users, about 2.2 million connected to the internet. The internet shutdown in Manipur, first imposed on May 3rd, is a case of blanket prohibition. The entire state is affected, and it is not a case of some of a total of 16 districts being affected. It covers all web traffic and mediums of connectivity. The orders issued by the Commissioner of Manipur under the telecom suspension rules use vague language in order to thwart the design and activities of anti national and anti social elements. By stopping the spread of disinformation and false rumors through various social media platforms, there is an absence of data or specific instances of where violence being prevented due to the jamming of internet connectivity. Before the weekly deadline lapses, a fresh order is passed, where each order is a mere reproduction of the earlier one but with minor changes in dates, thus making it clear that this could be indefinite. One may wonder about complaints following the reported Supreme Court of India judgment on the internet shutdowns in Jammu and Kashmir. There's a breach of directions that was made clear in Anuradha Bhashin versus Union of India. In this period, reports have filtered in. These are besides the protest in Delhi and the information flow here. The document the injury being caused to the people of Manipur. The news is of extremes from students from Manipur pursuing their education in the metropolitan cities, running out of money to residents being unable to apply for the evacuation to relief camps. Around May 19, petitions challenging these orders, such as Aribam Dhananjoy Sharma of the state of Manipur, were filed in the High Court of Manipur. This case, in particular, is vital to understand the evolving jurisprudence of limited internet shutdowns, not only in Manipur but also the rest of India. After 10 days of hearing on July 7th, a direction was issued for partial restoration. The primary objective, as framed by the High Court, has been to assess whether it is possible to provide limited usage of internet service to the public. This is constitutionally incongruent to judicial review, for it avoids determining the legality of impugned orders. However, this follows an institutional grammar of internet shutdowns. In Anuradha Bhasin versus Union of India, the Supreme Court failed to adjudicate an even one internet shutdown order. The decision by itself did not result in restoration of access, but for state competent authorities to review all orders suspending internet services. Its directions for transparency, such as publication of orders, have not been implemented as seen in the flurry of cases and a recent joint report by Human Rights Watch and the Internet Freedom Foundation, bringing lasting damage. This case carved out a greater flexibility for limited internet shutdowns with the possibility of access only to government websites, localized or limited e-banking facilities, hospital services, and other essential services in those regions wherein the internet services are not likely to be restored immediately. Judicial response. The High Court of Manipur has acted in Congress with the judicial doctrine and practices by its order on July 7. It directs provisional access for released lines, primarily used by public departments and corporate offices, wide lines services with assigned undertakings, a ban on social media, virtual private networks was are VPNs and physical monitoring, and a technical trial for web whitelisting. Whitelisting of mobile internet determined by the Home Department. There are no clear definitions of terms such as social media or examining continuing prohibition of internet usage primarily through smartphones. Here, in effect, a ban on internet access continues in Manipur. The response of the Supreme Court has been one of judicial avoidance. The top court had an opportunity twice to adjudicate when a petitioner challenged the internet shutdown and later when the state government itself appealed the order of the High Court for partial restoration. Even otherwise, it is peculiar as the Supreme Court is examining a broader social issue regarding violence in Dinganglung Gangmi versus Mutum Charamani Mithe. In this case, internet shutdowns are an inherent element. For instance, the state government has in its status report dated July 10 before the Supreme Court cited the internet suspension as a security measure. Also, the Chief Minister on July 20, 2020, as in a media interview, stated, here are hundreds of similar cases, and that is the reason why the internet is shut up in the state. The vital role of information flow. In an internet ban, misinformation spread rather than abates. For instance, a press report had dated June 1st by Hon Halang Sitlau and published by the online portal Newskick finds out in chilling detail that disinformation served as a pretext for the perpetration of sexual violence against Kuki Joe women. Per Manipur, the video clip is a vital moment for a national awakening that must be achieved without any reputational and social harm to survivors of sexual violence and communal hatred. Information flows are also necessary to ensure the accountability of the state and central governments in taking steps to ensure truth, justice, and reconciliation. Accountability can only come when the courts improve on the precedent of the Anuradha Basin case and demand it from the state and central executive. So the question that needs to be asked again is, what was the prior propriety of the internet shutdown and role in our national sympathy? We will never have these answers will till we hear the voices of Manipur. This is about the plight of Manipur state. The right approach, but should not be denied merely because police objected to it strongly. When the river rose, life came to a halt in several parts of Delhi as the Yamuna River, which was flowing at an all-time high, inundated many areas of the city. Alisha Datta, Nikhil M. Babu report on how encroachments as well as official development works continue to take place along the river despite warnings by the National Green Tribunal. Modi raises the aspirations of Tamils with Ronil. Assam Rivals files sedition case against Impal Group. NCW was informed of 6 incidents of violence in Manipur on June 12th. Varanasi court orders ASI survey of Gyanwapi Mosque. Gold and our vital is in treating stroke, SA neuro experts at the Hindu Wellness Webinar. More cases of sexual assault surface. No suspension of Rahul conviction. Abe's genius lay in ability to take a look behind alliances, Jaishankar. Imposed president's rule in Manipur, Congress urges Momo. Congress leader P. Chidambaram seeks neutral administration under president's rule for communities in the state to start a dialogue. BJP questions crimes against women in Bengal and Rajasthan. Derek O'Brien objects to its remarks being expunged. Center seeks more social diversity in judges' appointment. EC says proposal for more reserve seats in Assam welcomed. Asin Malik comes to SC to argue his case as special orders inquiry. Use any Indian language as optional medium, says CBSE. School must lay the foundation for multilingual learning as the higher education sector has already started to respond to the recommendations of the National Education Policy, says letter. The NEP advocates for utilizing the home language, the mother tongue, local language or regional language as medium of instruction whenever feasible. Will fight against sane in court, says Vishwabadi. 6 more bodies found in Raigad village, toll rises to 22. Can't ask government to recognize the language as official one. In past 5 years, over 1.08 lakh crore spent on railway safety, says Vaishnav. portal launched to report a violation of ban on e-cigarettes. Study hunt to find out reason for certain deaths in adults. Indian origin doctor is chairman-elect of My Myeloma Foundation. Renunciation best medium. Saudi Aramco locks up a stake in China petrochemicals firm. In an unprecedented move, Biden picks woman admiral to lead Navy. Israeli forces kill 17-year-old Palestinian boy in West Bank. Tech titans promise with watermarks to expose AI creations. White House. UK Conservative Party has suffered severe losses in parliamentary by-elections. The Tories are lost to Labour by a sizable margin in Selby and NC and to the Lib Dems in the Conservative stronghold of Somerton and Frome. They managed to retain former Prime Minister Boris Johnson's seat in Uxbridge and South Uslip. Ukraine has started using US cluster munitions on battlefield. White House. Pida's party to back its coalition partner for PM. Tony Bonnet's masterly stylist of American musical standards dies at 96. RIL Q1 net falls 10.8% to 16,011 crore. DGCA allows Go First to restart flights with conditions. Sensex slides over 1% following dismal show at Infosys. Online gaming investors flag risks to jobs, investments in SOS to PM on GST. All net jumps eightfold to 576 crore on next tax credit sales. ONDC starts learning academy for merchants. Kohli becomes fifth highest run scorer in international cricket. Of course, it is really nice to bat with Rohit, says Jaiswal. Sometimes it is an advantage. Samriti and absence of head coach. Morik wins stage 19 in a put-horse finish. Engegard still ahead. Kohli 29th test and Jadeja and Ashwin's 50s boost India. After a burst to blitzkrieg, Wood battles Australia. Dulhan and Nishant put India in final. Manush Achna swing it Paltan's way against the bank. Rahman shows with an eagle. Shibanka she sizes. This is the thing will happen. Spain throws down the gauntlet with hammering up Costa Rica. Ashwa Magadira well prepared to come good in Karnataka's police cup. Is the AFI taking any new step to deter drug cheats? Frequently updating national campus list, including state results in performance charts, could be crucial tools to monitor athletes. Russell Hunt off after freeze crash in rain hit season. INOSC season set to begin this weekend in Chennai. AIFF introduces a under 20 national championship for men. Deconstructing Ricciardo's gap year breakthrough. The honey badger chose to bide his time as a reserve driver for the Red Bull owned teams after MC Lauren terminated his contract in 2022. So, what does he hope to achieve by accepting a seat at bottom ranked Alpha Tauri following Nike Wise Reese sudden sacking? Kaveri was keep it a simple top of Mandra works a treat. The 24-year-old Karnataka phaser dominated the Duleep Trophy, snaring the likes of Pujara, Suryakumar and Sarparaj with his impeccable control, natural outswing and ability to also shape the bowling. He is one of the country's most exciting fast bowling prospects. how to seek ways to get purchase from the pitch. Have watched great bowlers like Dalis Strain and Mohammad Shami. I've seen Shami bowling lot recently. How good his seam presentation is. I hope you guys enjoying the newspaper reading. This is the last page. I'm going to end this video. So, and if you guys are facing any difficulty while learning English language, please write in the comment. I'll leave the comment in the comment box or write to me at aksharadari.india@gmail.com. So, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe the channel, like and comment for more videos related to education and healthcare and personal interviews. Let's see you in the upcoming videos, guys. Have a great day. Bye bye. Take care.